As open access institutions, community colleges enroll many students who have been historically underserved and underrepresented in higher education. While open admissions is a step toward equality, it alone does not achieve equity. That is, meeting every student where they are and ensuring they have the support they need to succeed. This more significant work is increasingly at the forefront of community college missions. Next, students, faculty, and staff speak about the equity issues they have witnessed or experienced.
Education wasn't as important to me in my community as it should have been. Systematically, education haven't been for people of color, and it's really hard just to get involved. If the community college wasn't here in some of these inner city communities, a lot of people wouldn't even be able to go to four-year colleges that's in this community also. It's just not really conducive in the inner city to be a part of an academic structure. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
I chose community college because at that time I felt like I didn't have a choice. I'm an undocumented student. It was a decision that basically I had to make because it got to the point my senior year in high school when everybody was taking their SATs and all their exams, and my friends asked me, "Oh, why aren't you taking yours?" And I couldn't tell them. Like, I had a great GPA. I was a good high school student. I never had any issues, but it's just at that point I felt like that was the only choice I had. So I had to choose community college, and it was really hard for me. It was really hard. Rather than being a 2-year experience, it turned to be a 6-year community college experience where I switched my major 6 times. I began with engineering, and I would get started, and it's just this feeling of I can't do it, because no matter how hard I tried, no matter how hard I worked with my classes, I would get to a point where it's like, because of your documentation, because of your status, you can't go any further. So I had to keep finding ways around it, keep finding ways. So I went to business, nope, didn't work. I went to nursing, and then I found out I can't be a nurse because of my documentation status. And so I continued, and thankfully, along my education process, DACA was passed, and I found a career that I loved, and it was because of a passion, because I heard somebody speak about helping other people. And I was like, this is my opportunity. I suffered through it, maybe not as much as the generations prior to me, but now I want to be able to say, hey, if I did it, you can do it too, and it's okay. We can get through it. And yeah, it's hard, but that was definitely one of the factors that made me choose community college. And also money. My parents, after my brother graduated in 2003 from high school, and unfortunately, like I said, he was undocumented as well at the time, and he couldn't get a job, he couldn't go to school, and so he started working in construction. He didn't have anything else to do, so he was 18 years old, and that's all he could do. And then I graduated in 2008, and it was again that cycle, like, where am I going to go? And I didn't want to disappoint my family. I didn't want to tell them, like, hey, I gave up because I couldn't do it. And so it's something that I've carried along, that, yes, it makes me get emotional, but it's also what drives me. And I'm still here. I'm doing good. I'm really glad.
Grades were suffering because I didn't have computer, internet, and everything was online. I couldn't do it, and my grades were just suffering from it. And I just don't think colleges to expect everyone who have those resources right away.
Honestly, got you. If you were white and you had good grades, they thought you would go to Michigan or be smart. Come back, talk to the kids. If you were Mexican, they'd think you just gonna go work at. They're gonna think they're gonna see you at the car wash or working at Home Depot or something. If you were black, they just think you're gonna go out there, graduate from school, 3 months into it, start killing each other or selling drugs or working at McDonald's.
My consejera, she motivated me so much because I was like, I'm just gonna get my AA. She's like, why are you gonna stop at AA? She's like, you could go something else. She's like, you have so much potential. I'm like, yeah, but I was like, I'm so tired. The stereotyping and kind of you're dumb as Latina, you're just gonna be 16, get pregnant. So she's like, why are you gonna identify yourself like that? She's like, be your individual. Don't try to change the whole world. Try to change one person at a time. So by you sharing your story, you're able to break the kind of the stereotyping. So you have to share your story. So it's kind of made you kind of be more relatable to them and be friendship. Because I even have her cell phone today, and she's like, how's everything going? How's graduation? I'm like, I'm so excited. She's like, oh, your letter of commission already sent it to you? I'm like, oh, thank you. So it's kind of you, even though they're guiding you to your pursuing a higher education, you create everlasting friendships.
Before, I used to think I was a number, and I was just another number. Now, in college, I'm a voice. I walk the hallways like I'm a celebrity, pretty much.
Before, it was just go to college and just get a job. But now you can be the president of the United States. So, you know, opportunities are unlimited now.
We're not just another statistic or a stereotype. I mean, it's just the fact that we're proving them wrong. You know, we're here and we're here to stay.
We got to figure out why people keep falling in the river. You don't just keep jumping in and saving that one individual. You run upstream and you figure out why are they falling in.
I need to see someone who looks like me, who's teaching, and who's aware of that, who's aware of the challenges, who is aware of the socioeconomic challenges, the challenges with being a family member, a daughter, a granddaughter, a niece. I needed someone to see that and to understand that, not necessarily as a detriment, but as an additive to my learning experience and them as well. So yes, I think it is very important. If the school and other institutions like to boast that they are diverse, the faculty needs to be diverse, and not just that, the curriculum, how teaching is done needs to be diverse too. Not just pictures of us on a poster that says diversity does not suffice. It doesn't. Having token people in higher positions does not suffice. So I think it is very important to have people of color, and not just people of color. We need professors who are queer, who are transgendered, who are gay, lesbian, who are on the spectrum. I think that would be more diverse.
It was extremely easy. Actually, I transferred to this college from a different community college, and that other college, it was really hard to navigate because it was so much bigger. The advisors really didn't have time for you, and I'm the first one in my family to go to college, so it's not like I had anyone at home to help me. But when I transferred here, the student support services, they were amazing. They made everything so simple. They walked me through all the steps, especially with financial aid, which was my biggest concern. And more than that, they actually took the time to get to know me, and me moving here from a different state definitely made me feel welcome. And so the whole process, our support service here is just amazing.
And I think that it would be good, because I work in the registrar's office now, and I do get questions from people over 60, over 65, who are having trouble. They're going, well, they keep telling me to go online. And I know that feeling, that en masse, that everything is online. Like, you know, like we joke that cursive is code for old people now.
The way that the curriculum is set, and the instructor is Native American, she talks about a lot of things that would relate to traditional, you know, ethics and things to think about, and how that's going to affect, you know, considering the elders and the, you know, the future generations. And that's something that, you know, I don't think that I would have learned at a bigger university where my personal identity is not part of the curriculum and integrated into the classes, because it teaches in a different way that I can relate to, and how that will affect my community, the choices that I make when I'm done with school, all the things that we take into consideration when it comes to language and culture, and how important that is.
It's very challenging, to ask a student to become something they rarely see.
I think we've done an excellent job at diversifying our student population, but we have a long ways to go in regards to our employees.
Particularly, we need to empower everybody. In particular, I think we need to empower our staff.
One of the questions we're asking on the survey is, of employees, do you feel comfortable discussing issues of diversity and inclusion? Because if we don't feel comfortable in whatever environments that we're in having these conversations, how are we going to be able to do it with students?
The biggest voice on campus are the students. If they start to speak, you need to start to listen to the students, okay?
I think the students here, for the most part, come with a strong desire to make something better for themselves, maybe more so than I've seen at other places. At the same time, there are particular challenges related to backgrounds involving lots of trauma, poverty, a lack of social support, a lack of transportation. On the other hand, one thing that the students here have more than a lot of other places I've been is a lot of resiliency in their life. The fact that they're just here, given what they've been through, shows a lot. And so the opportunity and the challenge for us is to take that resiliency they have in their everyday life and translate that to academics and help them achieve that better life.